Hello, my name is Sarah and I'm a GP. Today I wanted to talk about menopause. Menopause affects or will affect half of the population, so it's a huge topic. And luckily, more and more research is being done about it, so we know more and more about it. So much more actually, that it's very hard to squeeze that into a GP appointment. So I've made this video to hopefully empower you with different ways that you can make changes to improve the symptoms that you may be having with the perimenopause and menopause. To talk about the menopause, we actually need to go back a little bit, talk about the time before the menopause, the premenopause. So what I have here is a couple of shells, but bear with me. Let's pretend that they are our eggs in our ovary. And when we have a period, every time we have a period, one of the little eggs ripens and you get an ovulation. And this happens every single time you have a period. And as we get older and older, have more periods or have had more periods, we have less eggs in our ovaries. And then it comes to a point where you have quite few eggs left. What that means is that your cycle won't be as regular. You're going to maybe miss a period, miss a couple periods. It might just get a bit messy. And that's because there are not that many eggs left. When there's absolutely no eggs left, you won't have a period anymore. And once you haven't had a period for one whole year, that's what we call the menopause. What we also need to understand is the hormone that these eggs make while they're ripening and when they get released in the ovulation. That hormone is called estrogen.
So throughout the perimenopause and menopause, you'll have less and less eggs in ovulation. This means that you'll produce less of the estrogen hormone, as you can see in this graph. It doesn't go down as linear as we may expect and actually goes a bit up and down, up and down, up and down until it goes all the way down to levels of the postmenopause.
Because of the decreasing amounts of estrogen that we have throughout the perimenopause and menopause, we can experience a whole lot of symptoms because of everywhere the estrogen normally goes to. So we can have symptoms like hot flushes, night sweats, brain fog, anxiety, joint pain, increased irritability, you name it. There's a whole lot of symptoms that can happen because of this. I like to think of the perimenopause and menopause more as a journey, as a transition that we're going to. For some women, it's a walk in the park. They don't have actually too much bother by it at all, and it's gone before you know it. But for other women, it can feel like a long journey that never ends, with places that you can feel lost. And for those women where it might be a bit harder, you sometimes need a bit more support through the journey.
So what are these tools that will help us through our journey through the perimenopause and menopause? The first one that I've got in my bag is actually the best one, straight off the bat. So what if I told you that this tool will not only regulate your hormonal balance, but will also decrease your chances of developing dementia at a later age, will decrease your chance of developing breast cancer, diabetes, and things like heart attacks, strokes, and high blood pressure. It will also improve the severity and amount of hot flushes that you may or may not have with the perimenopause and menopause, and it will improve your sleep and your mood significantly. So what is it? I'm afraid it's not an easy fix. It's not a pill that I can just give you and will solve things instantly. It's exercise. And exercise might seem like a tricky thing to manage, and most of the time it's tricky because of two things: having the time to do it and the motivation to do it. My first piece of advice is to find something you enjoy doing, something that is fun and that you think you would like to do and would look forward to doing. This is different for everyone. For me, it's yoga, but for a lot of people I know, yoga is the last thing on their list. So find something that suits you. It might be a brand new sport to try out, a new activity to do with friends or with a team, or maybe something you can do on your own at home using YouTube videos or online subscriptions. It is a good idea to start with something realistic. Don't set your expectations too high, because then you might just not be able to manage and be disappointed and eventually give up. So set some expectations that you can meet, that are reasonable, and then just go for it. So for the motivation aspect, know why you're doing it. Sometimes just telling yourself it's good for you or that it's healthy isn't enough. Make the motivation more concrete for you. If it's your menopausal symptoms, I can tell you that regular exercise will significantly decrease the frequency and intensity of your hot flushes. If it's joint pain, we also know that exercises like swimming and yoga will significantly improve this as well. If it's for your mood, exercise makes your brain produce the happy hormone and will therefore also significantly improve your mood. If you're worried about your mobility or falling in the future or not being able to play with your kids or grandkids as much as before, then again, we need to focus on keeping our bodies mobile and strong. There's unfortunately no medication or operation that will do this for you. It's in your hands. Now, exercise will often make you feel better right after, but for easing menopausal symptoms, it will take some commitment. Studies have shown that it often takes at least 3 months of regular exercise to improve menopausal symptoms. So be patient. Your hormonal regulation is a complicated one and needs time to regulate itself. Time can be a significant second hurdle for being able to exercise. I managed to squeeze some yoga at home with my kids walking about, but this doesn't always work for me or indeed for everyone. If we look at our day-to-day, it is often very feasible to find 20 or 30 minutes of time. Maybe start by looking at your screen time on your phone. Try stealing some of that time on your phone and use it instead for you. Find a type of exercise that you can do in that newfound time that works for you. Whether it's a quick run or yoga session before work or during a lunch break or after your kids are in bed, it only takes 20 to 30 minutes and it can lead to a sustainable change that will have, and this is no exaggeration, lifelong benefits.
For any journey, the sustenance and the food that you bring with you is really important. And that's no different for your journey through the menopause. A lot of people don't realize, but you actually do have estrogen receptors in your gut. So that means that a happier gut equals a better balance of your hormones. So researchers have realized this and realized that actually what we eat really will affect our menopausal and premenopausal symptoms. So how can you get a happy gut? There's 3 pieces of advice I'd give you. 1 is eating more fiber, 2, more vegetables, and they kind of go hand in hand, and 3, eating less ultra-processed foods.
Fiber is incredibly beneficial for your gut. It helps to regulate your sugar levels and also decreases your risk of developing colon cancer. Fiber specifically has a mechanism in which it regulates estrogen in your blood as well. So where can we find fiber? It can be as simple as adding ground flax seeds to your yogurt before breakfast, or switching from normal pasta to wholemeal or whole grain pasta, or white rice to whole grain rice. Vegetables, beans, and legumes also have high amounts of fiber, so adding some of these to your meals is always an excellent idea. Vegetables are not only a brilliant source of fiber, they also contain lots of polyphenols, which you can think of as little foods for good microbes in your gut, which lead to a very happy gut. So I would suggest to stop counting calories, but instead start counting vegetables and aim for a varied, large amount of vegetables for your week. Ultra-processed foods, or UPFs, are detrimental to your gut health. Research has shown that eating too much or a lot of ultra-processed foods is associated with a higher risk of things like colon cancer and diabetes. So it almost counteracts all the benefits of fiber and vegetables. There are a couple ways to know whether something is an ultra-processed food or not, and one helpful tip is to look at the packaging. If it has a really long shelf life, or if the ingredient list is really long, those are often telltale signs that it is a UPF. Things like bread and pizza don't necessarily have to be unhealthy. When you make them yourselves, you realize that they actually need very few ingredients. Store-bought bread can often have loads and loads of ingredients and becomes and ultra-processed food. But when you make it yourself or look for homemade bread in shops, and you look for wholemeal bread or bread that has added seeds or nuts, then it can actually become a little bit healthier and therefore good for your gut and good for your hormonal balance. Although changes in diet and exercise may seem trivial, these are actually essential parts of the puzzle to improve your journey through the menopause. Now, you may also be wondering about hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, or you may actually already be using HRT. Sometimes making changes in your lifestyle is simply not enough to combat the perimenopausal symptoms. If that's the case, then HRT or other non-hormonal medication may actually be a good option for you. I will make a video specifically on HRT, so watch this space. In the meantime, come and find me or your own GP to discuss your options. Women respond to hormones in a hugely varied way. So what works for some may not work for you. And like I said before, every journey is a personal one. But it is a journey. And every journey, no matter how difficult or long, does come to an end. But any positive change that you may make during this journey will lead to long-standing health benefits that your 70 or 80-year-old self will thank you for later. So use the journey as an opportunity to invest in yourself. It may come as a surprise, but at the end of this menopausal journey, multiple studies have actually shown that your life satisfaction actually increases. The Japanese maybe put it best by calling menopause konenki, which means renewal. This is your journey, and I hope this video has empowered you to take the wheel and make changes that suit and benefit you. It is your journey to your renewed self.